Have I mentioned that I'm in New York? Because I'm in New York. So if y'all hear background noise, that's what it is. The windows are open because there's no central air. So I guess consider this a vintage in color ASMR city sounds video.
Okay. Oh, shut up. What do I care about that? He's only the manager of the show. I'm the star. I'm the big star around here. Nobody tells me what to do. I tell them.
Oh, I'd love to work at Dennis. I do want a job as a secretary. And I could handle it.
A house is residential with a lot of rented rooms. Then they crowd it full of beaten up, broken down characters in the back streets of Harlem and let them go rent cribs. Why don't you hold the slipper in your hand? You know, the Cinderella slipper. It would give you more showmanship. And inside of the slipper, you can have all the letters written out.
Oh. It's good, Diana. Gosh, I never thought I'd be lucky enough to learn anybody like you.
Glad you enjoyed your vacation.
Vacation? How come you can't afford it to stay?
She was billed as the poor man's Dorothy Dandridge and the prettiest girl in Harlem, and for good reason. Francine Everett, while never reaching the heights of her contemporaries in Hollywood like Dorothy Dandridge or Lena Horne, would leave an important mark on black cinema's unsung history and a lasting impression in the minds of a generation. Francine Everett was born Francine Boyd Williamson in Lewisburg, North Carolina. Hey, Carolina girl, shout out. On April 3rd, 1915, but would claim her birthday as being 1920. Her father was a carpenter by the name of Noah, and he would relocate the family to Harlem during the rise of the Renaissance. Francine began attending New York City's St. Mark's School as a young teen, but the allure of showbiz would soon come calling, and then she would drop out around 13 or so to become a chorus girl in black dance troupes like the Four Black Cats, an act that traveled throughout the U.S. Francine performed in popular New York nightclubs such as the Savoy Ballroom and Small's Paradise. But she also had a very prolific stage career, including performing in popular Broadway shows such as Humming Sam and Swing It. At age 15, Francine married a man by the name of Booker Everett, but by age 17, she became a widow. It would seem this married name was the one she chose to keep, and for good reason. Francine Everett just rolls off the tongue well. Francine began studying acting and working with the Federal Theater in Harlem, which was sponsored by the Works administration. It was here that she met and married 40-year-old actor Rex Ingram, who gained fame from his starring role in Green Pastures. When I saw that, I said, Rex Ingram? I said, that's familiar. I went and I looked it up. Y'all, that's the daddy from damn Anna Lucasta. You know who played the perverted dementia-having daddy with Eartha Kitt and Anna Lucasta? That's him. And I'm like, that man was old even then in that movie. So, like, how old was he? I was like, that man is old. I went and looked it up. He was 41. And Francine was 19. I'm like, that is so weird. I don't know what. And it's like he looks even older, because he had that dark skin and the white facial hair and hair on his head was all white. He just looked like a black Santa Claus. That was such a weird pair up to me. I don't know. Maybe Francine had some daddy issues. I don't know what was going on there. But anywho, she decided to marry that old ass man at 19 years old. And the couple decided to move to Hollywood together in 1936. It was there that they were offered 2 starring roles in the film Green Pastures. Francine declined, refusing to play stereotypical roles, while Ingram accepted the part of Delord. And yes, that is supposed to be their take on Southern AAVE, and it means the Lord. Delord. Child, okay. I see why Francine turned it down. But the role would end up skyrocketing Ingram into fame and see him becoming one of the most recognizable and celebrated black actors in Hollywood. By 1939, the couple divorced and oh my God, you guys. Okay. Stop!
A few moments later.
Y'all, I don't know how people live in New York. I promise you I don't understand it. Anyway, let me find my place and keep going. In 1939, the couple would divorce and Francine would move back to Harlem. Along the way, she picked up a role as the leading lady starring opposite boxing champion Henry Armstrong in the all-black race film Keep Punching. From then on, Francine would become what we in the black community call black famous. Not only did she take on multiple leading lady roles throughout the 1940s, when she wasn't in a film production, she was modeling for hair and fashion ads in magazines and newspapers, performing in nightclubs, and appearing in soundies, which were musical shorts that are sort of like the equivalent to music videos of today. Apparently, she appeared in over 50 of these soundies, singing and dancing. Basically, sis stayed booked and busy. She said, y'all ain't finna sit me down. Now, I know you're probably wondering, with a face and talent like that, did Hollywood ever come knocking? And yes, of course they did, but they were offering stereotypical parts as maids or playing second fiddle to their white leading ladies. And Francine knew that she didn't deserve to be a secondary role or a maid. And of course she didn't. Look at that face. Would y'all buy her as the best friend or the maid? She had a main character face and main character talent, and she knew it. She chose gigs where she could showcase the range of her talent in a variety of diverse roles, and her efforts definitely paid off. Black photographers dubbed her as the prettiest girl in Harlem, and she became so recognizable amongst black filmgoers for her roles in race films that she was dubbed as the poor man's Dorothy Dandridge. And I know y'all hate when I say that somebody is the poor man's version of this or the black version of that, but that was not considered an insult back in those days. What this essentially meant was that Francine was such a recognizable figure in the black community that she felt accessible to black people in a way that her peers, such as Dorothy Dandridge and Lena Horne and Eartha Kitt, just didn't. This was also intentional on Everett's part. She truly wanted better for her community and for black entertainment, and her way of forwarding the black community's chances in the entertainment industry was by taking on these diverse leading lady roles in race films and sticking within her community to do so. Francine appeared in some of the most important films in black cinema at this time, including The Big Timers, Tall, Tan, and Terrific, which I think Dorothy Dandridge also starred in, I'm not 100% sure, and Dirty Gertie from Harlem, USA, which I talked about in a video that nobody watched. However, by the late 1940s, race films would begin to fall out of favor, and black actors were heading to Hollywood in droves, hoping to gain more substantial roles more and more. So Francine's career took a major hit, but she did try to roll with the punches and took on 2 supporting parts in a couple of Hollywood productions, both of which had race relations themes: Lost Boundaries in 1949 and No Way Out in 1950, which was Sidney Poitier's first film. After these roles, however, Francine would fade from the spotlight and try to go on to live a normal life, taking on a clerical position at Harlem Hospital, where she would work until her retirement in 1985. Shortly after her retirement, however, there was a resurgence of race films that would spark the interest of modern-day cinephiles who were interested and fascinated by these all-black productions and the pioneering actors who starred in them. Francine would be called on to participate in panels and conduct seminars on race films. She also remained involved with the black entertainment industry by serving as a member in the Negro Actors Guild. Her panels were sponsored by the International Agency for Minority Artists Affairs, which promoted black films. Francine would pass away on May 27, 1999, at a nursing home in Bronx, New York. A lot of the times when I read these stories about black actresses of the past, I really get angry about the opportunities that they were denied, that they truly deserved, because there were so many beautiful, talented black actresses and entertainers back in the day. And the things that they weren't able to do because of Hollywood's racism usually leave me with this chasm of sadness and for what I feel like they were robbed of, especially as a black woman who is a vintage enthusiast. It hurts me. But when I read Francine's story, I don't feel like that. I feel like this is one of the few stories of empowerment, and I'll tell you why. Francine Everett's story, in my opinion, is one of the few true success stories to come out of the entertainment industry, especially from that time period. While watching the movie Dirty Gertie, I read in one of the comments on the video that someone who worked with her at the hospital that she worked at, and they claimed that they knew Francine. They said, "I knew Francine while she was working at the Harlem Hospital. She used to talk about being a movie star in Harlem back in the day, and she was still slender and beautiful even in her advanced age." So, to me, When I think of Francine Everett's career and I look at all the things that she did and the way that she navigated her career and kept herself working in a field that she very clearly loved and had such passion for, doing her acting, doing her modeling, doing her singing, doing her dancing, I admire the way that she took control of her narrative and her career and how she was so intentional in making sure that she advocated for the best for herself and for her talent. Never once did she compromise on what she thought she deserved. She conducted her career on her own terms, which is something that is extremely rare for female entertainers to do even now, but especially back then, and it was damn near impossible for the black women to do it. I think that Francine got exactly what she wanted out of her career. She was looking to gain something and give something very specific out of her time in the entertainment industry, and in that respect she was successful in doing so, because not only was she able to lead the career that she truly wanted by taking on roles that she felt were important, she was able to continue to teach new generations of aspiring black actors how to do the same. And that's not only impressive, it's empowering and it's inspiring. So this one is not just for Francine, but also for the other beautiful black sisters trying to make it in the world on their own terms against all odds. This is for y'all.